Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine. This video is a bit different. I don't even know if I'm going to keep it up. It's a bit of a rant, probably, but it's just observational. It's an honest video. It's how I feel, and it's just me looking into the world that part of me inhabits. What am I talking about? Well, I guess the thumbnail gave you a clue. The worst singers ever. Singers, why haven't they given up yet? Bands that should have retired. 50 bands I hate, part 6. This time it gets really serious. Things I just can't stand with animated thumbnails to match. When I click on the YouTube button thing, it's all that's put in front of me. And obviously that really, really works. When I interviewed Steve Hackett and I used this bit of software that comes up with YouTube titles, it suggested the title saying the shocking truth about Steve Hackett. There wasn't any shocking truth. I was just talking to him about his forthcoming tour. But obviously it thought that's the way to do it. I've just released a video and I've got a message from YouTube saying this video is not performing as much as your videos normally do. Perhaps I should have called it Why This Album Absolutely, but it doesn't, because I really liked it. Now, I need to say at this stage, the people that can do these kind of videos, I tip my hat to you because it works. And for those of you watching this video who are starting a YouTube channel from scratch, you're wanting to know how to get to your 1,000 subscribers and what's the best way of earning money, currently, that works. And I think it's something you can either do or you can't, and I can't. But there are lots of reasons why I can't, which I'm going to just touch on now. But the people that do this and, can have clickbait weeks and all sorts of things. And even the latest trend where you actually take clips from each other's kind of like hate videos and then talk about why you don't agree, whatever. It works. And there's no doubt about it. I personally do this full time. So I really need to make this work. And if you do that, follow what the algorithm wants from you, you will earn more money. So all the incentive is there for me to do it. But I can't. I can't be enthusiastic about being negative. But surely, Phil, there must be something you don't like that you could talk about, rant about as such. There must be something that you can do. Not really, no, because I don't really see myself as a YouTuber. I'm aware, probably more aware than I probably was before. I just started doing this. I think if you still listen sometimes to the music you grew up with, you feel exactly the same way. As, again, advice for not just young new YouTubers, but anyone young like me. You don't change inside. When I'm listening to Deep Purpling rock and speaking erupts out of the speakers with that wild crescendo of tremolo arm, enormous riffage, I feel the same now as I did then. So I have very little comprehension about how I'm supposed to behave or what age I probably am, really. Although the reason I'm saying this is I am probably one of the oldest people in this space talking about music online. I'm 65 now at the time of doing this, and I know that lots of other people out there who do this kind of thing are a lot younger than that. I'll have to admit, because I have no perception of how old I am, when I've looked over the garden fence at what other people do, I actually thought I was probably in the same ballpark. It's only when I've realised that some people are actually 20 years younger than me. And this is important, why I'm saying this. It's relevant. If I was in my 30s and 40s, would I feel differently? Would I just be thinking, right then, all bets are off. Let's go for this. Let's do a video that really, really pushes a lot of people's buttons and let's see where this goes. Would I? If I go back to my most competitive part of my dog eat dog corporate career ladder, being in bands and stuff, I might have dabbled with that, I think, perhaps. But not now. Not now. I'll come back to this later on, but Ian Hunter has written a great song, hasn't he, called I Hate Hate, from this album, the one before last, Defiance Part 1. It's a great song that really kind of resonated with me in the way that things kind of are when you go online now. And the way that an algorithm works, it all makes sense, really. I'm lucky. I can make videos and lots of people watch them and lots of people comment on them. And people comment in a way that the ethos behind Now Spinning magazine, which the reason why I don't see myself as purely a YouTuber is that I have a website with nearly 240,000 visits per month. There's a Facebook group and lots of other things. We're everywhere. Got about nearly 80,000 people in the social media sphere following Now Spinning magazine, and quite a few subscribers here as well. And so I don't see myself as completely here. But what I'm trying to say is that the way it works is it's about views, and you need to get more views. And the more views you get, the more advertising stuff you get, and the more subscribers you get as well. And as I said at the very start of this video, some of the people who operate in this area and do these kind of videos, they might be seen as for fun, but it's debatable sometimes. Is that, some of these people have sometimes gained more subscribers in a month than it's taken me to do in a couple of years. So it works. And you can see why it works. YouTube sees the comments coming in. It sees people viewing the video. And of course, if everyone in the comment stream is going, yeah, I agree, this is a great album. Oh, yeah, great band. But if someone goes, you're joking, are you? How can you possibly say that? You're having a laugh, aren't you? And the next person, no, I'm not. I really think that. And it almost like a fight breaks out and people pile in. As far as the algorithm is concerned, whoa, now this video is popular. And there's your incentive. But it isn't for me. And I think it's the reason why I've said how old I am again is because it's where I want to go, and it's the pace that I want to go. And also when I look at the news, it's dark. It's not positive. Social media thrives on negativity. I might be being naive in wanting to say I want to be like the light in the darkness and offer positivity and bring a smile to people's face and some joy into the world from what I do here, because I genuinely love music and I love what I talk about. I'm passionate about it. The sense of wonder of going into Woolworths age 14 and buying that single for 48p, or coming home on the bus with that album under my arm that cost, a chunk of my first apprentice salary, is still there in me. The joy of sitting with a few like-minded friends, having a beer after work and having a laugh about the music that we love, the bands we've seen, and the new artists I've just discovered. I can't wait to tell people about it. That is what drives me forwards. It's exciting. Equally, I can walk down to where I live. I'm very lucky. I can walk down to the beach, spend time with my family. What I do here, has to be fun and almost an effortless, that it's just a joy to do without second guessing. What I'm doing now is completely unscripted. Everything I do is unscripted. I'm a little bit dyslexic around the edges, so sometimes I make errors, but I used to when I first started doing those, to try and edit those out. I don't bother now because it's who I am. And I recently had a bit of a health scare, and it has also made me think of things differently as well. But surely, Phil, there's something that you don't like, you could say, weren't you at one point going to do a video called Things I Don't Quite Get? Yeah, I was. And I made a list of about 5 bands. Well, mention them. Well, I can't really, because when I made the list of them, I realised I had actually quite a bit of stuff by them. I had more albums than I realised. I knew more stuff than I realised. And actually, maybe I didn't have everything they'd done, but I had nothing against them. Phil, okay, what about rap? You don't mention rap. No, I don't. I don't really listen to rap. It's not my thing. Got you. Well, no, because the ethos behind Now Spinning magazine is about bringing collectors together and fans who love music, who buy CDs and albums or whatever. So, in a way, it doesn't matter if in the Facebook group someone posts a rap album and they talk about how much they love it, what it means to them, what they were doing in their life when they first heard it, etc. And they talk about it like that. I'm interested in hearing someone's passion for the music and how music has shaped their life. The fact that it's not an album that I have in my collection or necessarily want to listen to is not the point. But I respect the fact that that's their thing. And that's the other thing, is that whatever album or band or singer or anybody I might say, oh, well, that's not for me. For somebody, it's an album that reminds them of, their mum passing or their first child, or they're going on their first date. It's something that means something. I'm not going to mess with that. I love music, and I love, my phrase is, music is the healer and the doctor. It's about bringing people together. What all the art forms, of all the things that goes on, better than sport. Music builds bridges, and I want to try and build bridges. And as I said at the start, I'm full respect to the people who can go out there and be at the cutting edge of, going with the algorithm. The algorithm. Again, I'm at a stage in my life where I want to do what I want to do. I'm not working for some boss who's told me I've got to stay late on Friday night, who's told me you've got to do better than last week. We didn't hit our targets last week, Phil. You've got to really pull your socks up on this. I've been self-employed for over 2 decades. Best thing I ever did. I don't like being told what to do. I like being able to think freely and create what I want to create when I want to do it. I want to do things from the heart. When you do things from the heart, you don't have any competition, because no one else can be like you when you're doing that. There's only you doing it, because it's coming straight from your heart. When I do these videos, I'm not imagining thousands of people watching me. I'm imagining the one person I want to almost appeal to. It's a younger version of me. It's that kid that listens to In Rock. I want to say to him, it's going to be okay. And I'm thinking about him, how he feels about listening to that music, the excitement he has putting that record on, all the dreams he's got going forwards. That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to having that sense of wonder. And I don't want hate bringing that down. And I've just said, that boss that continually says, we've got to do better. We've got to do better. That's the algorithm. You do a video, you get thousands of views. Your next one's got to beat that. Your next one's got to beat that as well. How much hate can you keep pouring on that fire? There must be more. Got a little bucket somewhere else, have you? But I am not going to be bullied by a piece of computer code. I am not going to be bullied by a piece of computer code that doesn't give a damn about me or my welfare or anything else that's going on. I'm not doing it for that computer code. I'm doing it for those of you out there who love what I do and love to talk about music and listen to it. And I hope it transports you to places that feels more positive and better. I review things I love. I talk about music that I love as well. And the other thing that really brought this home to me, because again, I'm learning all the time. I'm just bumbling along, trying to make my own way through this, really. tribute videos. I don't know what made me start to do those. And many of you have watched me do them and realised that you can probably see, although I never sit right in front of the camera, that some of them affect me quite deeply. And what happened was, you hear me say, this is dedicated to the family and friends of the person who's passed away, no matter who they are. And the reason is, I started to realise that it could be that artist's grandchildren, their widow, who gets in touch with me, their son, their daughter, their uncle, their niece, or someone who gets in to think, thank you for saying what you've said about my dad. Thank you for keeping my dad's music alive, or saying, I've realised that words have power, that it reaches out to touch people. All the words that we use, they touch on someone. Now, no matter who you are, and there's this thing about musicians. Oh, well, they're musicians are successful. They should be able to cope with this. Musicians usually have skin that's paper thin. And this is why so many people, they might be online, they might be on social media, but there's someone else running that account because they just, they don't want to read someone trolling them, etc. And I personally, living in a family of musicians, being one myself, I could never imagine doing a video where I brought up lots of comments from people basically, being horrible, either to me or to other people, the thing I'm talking about, and then maybe trying to rip down that person who's made that comment. I just can't do that. I would just feel ill inside. It just wouldn't work. And of course, I do a series called Music and Mental Health. Because I've encountered anxiety in my life, and I've battled with that. And I know that what I do when I do that little series and how I talk here helps others, and that's what I want to do, is to help others. That does mean, that it's a compromise, isn't it? Really, I'm saying here, I've decided that this is my full-time gig, Now Spinning Magazine. And there are routes through this where I could earn more than I am. But it's about integrity to me. And those people that do that, great, because you're obviously, they're brilliant at it, fantastic at it. But you have to be true to what you can do and how you feel and where you are in your life at this moment. And that's why I'm also hoping that this video will help others who are going down these routes. Now, some of you are thinking, no, I'm going that way. It's a fast track. It is fast track. It is. And was it in Twitter said, wouldn't it be great if we ran out of hate? I love that line. And hate, it's all about the money. Hate, 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 hate. It's in bloom. It is in bloom. It's in. And I guess with social media, that's how it works. But I've worked hard to set up behind the scenes, like a lot of my subscribers called the Now Spinning Magazine Multiverse, where all the little communities that exist within it, and the private WhatsApp group and the Facebook group, it's a place where people can talk about anything. It doesn't matter whether you're going to post something about the Wombles, or it is rap, or it's whatever it is, or whatever genre it is. No one's going to make a sarcastic remark, because it's about the love of music. It's about the enthusiasm of embracing someone else's excitement that their favorite artist is about to release something, even if it's not something that you like. Phil, what about vocalists though? Surely, what about people that can't sing? What about Bob Dylan? I don't know. It's him, don't you? I mean, I grew up in an era when it wasn't about being a singer where it came out within you all kind of, trained to sing absolutely perfectly. It was like the Ian Hunters, Bob Dylan's, Aussies, and all sorts of people. They had a sound that was their own. They created stuff from the heart. And when you create from the heart, you don't have any competition. It's just doing what you do. So I just wanted to kind of put my flag in the ground, because I know that as you look out there across the the world of YouTube and blokes of a certain age doing these kind of music videos, I probably stand out quite differently now that I'm not following that route, and I'm kind of just growing away in the background. But hopefully, those of you who do like my approach will continue to watch what I do here, because I really do appreciate it. And for all of those of you who like a bit more drama, there is lots of people out there supplying that for you, and it is incredibly popular approach. It's just not for me. It's just not something I can do. And as I said, I'm not going to be bullied by a piece of computer code. I'm doing what I'm doing because I want to do it. And each time I do a video, it's because I can't wait to sit down and do this. And I'm excited about doing it. And it's that thing, isn't it? One more than zero. As I said, I'm talking to one person. And as long as somebody somewhere in the world, if it touches them and they go, well, that's something that I really needed that. That was really, really good. Then it's working and it's worth doing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and then I'll decide whether it'll live on. And if you found it useful, then that's great as well. But it's never too late to start a YouTube channel. So if you're thinking of doing one, just dive in and keep going. And it is difficult at first. In fact, it is difficult. But again, when I say it's difficult, is that a fair thing to say, actually? No, I guess no. I think that's a wrong thing to say. It's difficult. I think it's only difficult if you try and be somebody you're not. If you're really looking at someone else and thinking, how the hell do I get those kind of numbers, then it will be difficult. But if you're true to yourself and you create from the heart, as I said, then it's going to be good, because you haven't got any competition then, and you will engage with people. It's about being yourself and being real and not trying to be anything you're not. And this is where the algorithm can be a bit poisonous. And this kind of software you can get, which tells you and suggests titles for you, suggests what's trending, or you see something that's trending, you think, I'm just going to grab a section of that and put it into the video and say, this is my response to. It will give you lots of views, I imagine. But is that really something you can keep repeating before you have to find your own voice and be yourself? And if you are yourself, no one can be that. So remember, music is the healer and the doctor. That's exactly as I see it. I see this as what I do here as something I just love to do. And I look forward to sitting down. I don't have any preconceptions of what is going to happen when I do it. And thank you for those of you who are supporters as YouTube members and our patrons as well. There are now 2 private communities for you to join, plus a twice monthly virtual meetup where we get together and have a chat. You can interact or not, or just watch within Zoom. And there's lots more things coming up as well. And there's lots of new shows coming up on the channel. 2025 is going to be fab. Thank you. Take care, all of you. Keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.